Hi everyone, it's Tony Richards and welcome to the Tony Richards Life Focus. Tonight's Life Focus is question your assumptions. My daughter and I were talking this morning and I was telling her about some things that were happening today and some of the decisions that would have to be made. And I was asking her what she thought. And she was telling me her thoughts, and she turned back to me and she said, Dad, I want to tell you something or ask you something. And I said, what's that? And she said, before you make your decision, question your assumptions. And I really got to thinking about that. And she said in journalism, that's what they talked about before us. They do stories and everything. And question your assumptions. What are you assuming today? What are you assuming in your life? What are you assuming that's going to happen to you today or tomorrow? Diane, we go through life and we have decisions we have to make. We go through situations in our life and we make assumptions based on our experience, based on what others have said to us, based on what we read, what we learn, what we talk about. But when we make that assumption, do we really question it? Do we understand how it really applies in our life? Because so many times we just automatically do things because that's what we've done before. We assume because we've done it this way before, it's always going to happen again in the same way. When maybe, point of fact, we need to question those assumptions and we need to say, you know what, instead of doing it the way I've always done it, maybe I need to shift a little bit. April, whatever you're being confronted with now, question that assumption in your mind of what is it and how is it that I've always done it this way, but is it the right way? Is it really the best way for me? Has my situation changed? Has my circumstances changed? In business, you look at your environment and you say, okay, what has changed? We assume that because we've done one thing one way and assume that if all things being equal, it's going to work out, just as in our life. We assume because we're going to get up and go to work tomorrow, we're going to go the same way. But question those assumptions. Why is it that I'm doing this? What is it that I can do differently? How can I change a little bit and become more effective in what I do? Or maybe be stronger in what I do? Or maybe understand it a little differently so it'll give me a new perspective and a new outlook on things and maybe even a new direction. Maybe when I question the assumptions of what I've always done, I'm going to understand it and I'm going to move closer to my destiny. The life focus for tonight is no matter where you are in life, no matter what situations you're facing, no matter what and how many times you've done the same thing, don't always assume that everything is going to always turn out the same way. Question those assumptions. Question everything you're doing, and you'll go forward. Hey, write me at TonyRichardsSpeaking@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. In about 20 minutes, this program is going to be uploaded onto YouTube. Simply go to youtube.com, type in TRspeaks, and you'll not only get this program, but others as well. Give me your thoughts, your comments. Are there any topics that you'd like to have me talk about? Write me at TonyRichardsSpeaking@gmail.com. Thanks so much. I'm going to wait for you. I'm going to not assume anything, and I'm going to question the opportunity that you have before you to write to me. Will you do it? Will you take that step? Will you change that assumption that, well, if I write, nothing's going to happen? Maybe it will. Write to me, question the assumption, and go forward.